Josh Smith with GottaBeMobile.com. I'm going to show you how the Galaxy Note 3 compares to the iPhone 6 with a 5.5-inch screen and the iPhone 6 with a 4.7-inch screen. These are not real iPhones. They're mock-ups based on current iPhone leaks and rumors. This is a real Galaxy Note 3 on AT&T. We have a 5.7-inch 1080p display right here. That's 1920 by 1080, kind of like your HD TV. The iPhone 6 in both screen sizes should have a 1704 by 960 resolution. That is a jump up from what's on the iPhone 5S, but not the same as what we see on the Galaxy Note 3. The Note 3 will have more pixels per inch than the 5.5-inch iPhone 6, not more than the smaller screen. Because there's less screen real estate, the pixels get packed in closer. Essentially, the more pixels you have packed in on a screen, the better looking your images and video and text and all that stuff that you use your screen for looks. From a size standpoint, it's really interesting. The Galaxy Note 3 is much larger than this iPhone 6 4.7-inch. You see, you get a whole bezel up there and quite a bit of room on the side. But if I take this iPhone 6, all of a sudden the Galaxy Note 3 basically disappears. So we'll switch these sides and you can see that there is a slight difference in height. The iPhone 6 is taller. The Galaxy Note 3 is maybe just a tiny bit wider. You can kind of see that there. Not a whole lot of difference in the width. And part of this is just due to the large bezels that are at the top and bottom of the iPhone 6. From a design standpoint, we're using aluminum versus plastic on the Note 3. Now, both of these iPhone 6 models here feature aluminum, and these areas that are encased in white used to be glass on the iPhone 5S. These lines may shrink or change a little bit before the final design. And on our 4.7-inch mock over here, the camera sits flush. On this one, the camera sticks out a little bit. We're still not quite sure how that's going to stack up between the two. On the Note 3, we have this plastic back, and it's a fake leather look. We can actually peel that off for access to our battery and a micro SD card. So we can switch out batteries and we can drop in a micro SD card for more storage. That's not something we expect on the iPhone 6. It's not something Apple commonly offers. Another feature that the Galaxy Note 3 offers that we won't find on the iPhone 6 is an S Pen. And so this S Pen interacts with the display and it's linked to that display so I can use it. There's a small button. I can launch this little window to access some features, and then I can take notes on the Galaxy Note 3, which is where it gets its name. And that's not something that we expect Apple will include with the iPhone 6. From a spec standpoint, the Galaxy Note 3 uses a Snapdragon 800 processor, runs Android 4.4.2, which is a pretty recent version. And it comes with 32 gigabytes of storage, which you can expand by pulling that off and dropping a micro SD card in for $15 to $20, depending on how much storage you want to add. We have a 13 megapixel camera on the rear and a 2 megapixel camera on the front. This 13 megapixel camera includes a nice flash down below, and we're able to use that to record in 4K. And there's a lot of different stuff in the Galaxy Note 3 camera app that we don't find in Apple's versions of the camera app. We have that 3200 milliamp hour battery, NFC, and speedy Wi-Fi. On the iPhone 6, on both models, we expect an Apple A8 64-bit processor will run iOS 8, and these displays will actually be covered in sapphire, according to some of the rumors, which is different from the Note 3, which uses a chemically strengthened Gorilla Glass. And the sapphire display is supposed to be more resistant to scratches. It's second in hardness only to diamonds. And if you drop it, it should survive a little bit better than chemically strengthened glass, according to some drop tests. But we're gonna have to see how that pans out when the device comes out later this year. On the front of the iPhone 6, we could see a 3.2 megapixel camera up front. And on the rear, rumors are currently going back and forth. It could be a 8 megapixel, it could be a 13 megapixel. We do expect them to possibly include some kind of image stabilization, some kind of tech in there to up the camera experience from the iPhone 5S. On the front of these, we see a Touch ID fingerprint sensor, so we can log in with that. And rumors do suggest that Apple is finally going to add NFC to the iPhone 6, so you could tap it to something to make a mobile payment. The Galaxy Note 3 arrived last year, and it's currently priced at about $229. The retail is still at $299. And the iPhone 6 release date looks like it could come on September 19th, after an event on September 9th where Apple would announce them. One thing that may happen is we may see the 4.7-inch iPhone 6 release come on the 19th, but the larger model, which is rumored to be a little farther behind in production, may come slightly later. Maybe we'll see it in the last week of September, or maybe into October. As far as pricing, there are reports that Apple is going to charge more for the iPhone 6. It would not be surprising to see the 4.7-inch iPhone 6 price come in at $199, undercutting the current price for the Note 3, and the 5.5-inch Galaxy, or 5.5-inch iPhone 6 come in at $299 at the least, to match the retail price of the Galaxy Note 3 and what we expect Samsung will charge for the Galaxy Note 4 that's supposed to come out in the same time frame as this device. If you head over to GottaBeMobile.com, you can check out more about these three devices and how they compare.